Recap Rush Hour for Wednesday. It's October 15th. I'm David Kaplan. It's brought to you by our great partners at the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. They are the official truck partners of the Chicago Bears. And Tasty Trade, stocks, crypto, futures, options, whatever you trade, you should always do it at tastytrade.com. Bears starts our journey around the sports world. Caleb Williams confirmed he did not have a pregame production meeting with ESPN analyst Troy Aikman. Williams also said regarding the alleged criticism of Williams during the game from Aikman, quote, "I could care less." He said he did not meet with him simply because he was in meetings and then lifting, and then he tried to call Aikman back, and Aikman did not answer the phone call. It went to voicemail. Head coach Ben Johnson also announced Cairo Santos remains the starting kicker if he is healthy. Bears were on the practice field today as they get ready for a noon kick Sunday at Soldier Field against the New Orleans Saints. There is news on the stadium front. State Representative Cam Buckner is introducing legislation that could slow the Bears' pursuit of building their new palace in Arlington Heights. Whether or not his proposal gets any traction remains to be seen. In my opinion, all part of the process. I fully expect, as I've always said, the Bears will be in Arlington Heights and the deal will get done sooner rather than later. Outside Chicago, a couple of notes around the NFL. CeeDee Lamb set to return to practice for the Dallas Cowboys. He was injured 3 weeks ago, and the Cowboys lost to the Bears at Soldier Field. And Alvin Kamara of the Saints did not practice today down in Louisiana. Here's our Ankin Law Question of the day, 312-6million. For the best personal injury attorney in Illinois, the award-winning Howard Ankin, AnkinLaw.com. Are you sick and tired of hearing about the Bears Stadium? And do you believe the Bears will eventually end up in Arlington Heights? Best response, Lou Malnati's gift card so you can try the Buffalo Chicken Pizza. It's a collab between Lou Malnati's and Frank's Red Hot. LouMalnati's.com for a location near you. Baseball, Cubs president Jed Hoyer at his end-of-season press conference today with the Chicago media. He touched on a number of topics in a nearly 50-minute media session. Here's what he said when he was asked about Kyle Tucker remaining a member of the Cubs. Quote, "We'll be talking to Casey Close," that's Tucker's agent with Excel Sports Management, and we'll be having those conversations. Like I said a bunch of times during the season, everyone can use a guy like Kyle Tucker. Everyone gets better by having a player like that. We'll certainly be having those conversations. My hope and expectation is we'll have extension talks with a number of our players this offseason. My hope and expectation is that none of you here find out about it. That's why I like that dude. That was a nice, funny remark, a little levity to the news conference. There was nothing else really newsy out of the press conference, but Hoyer did say the atmosphere at Wrigley Field during the postseason was as good as he has seen it since 2016. Take a listen.
I don't ever remember players commenting on the crowds and the experience right after games the way they did repeatedly. I'd come down here after games and the players would be talking about the energy or talking about the experience, and that was really cool. It was really cool to see, and you know, it leaves you wanting more, right? I think that to me, when I go back to the very beginning of this press conference, talking about like the disappointment of losing, I think the disappointment in some ways is like not being able to continue to have more of that, right? And in some ways it was pretty intoxicating just how great Wrigley was during the postseason. And so, yeah, I think that if you want to call it sentimental, I think that, you know, I don't think we'd had feelings like that in the building since like 15 and 16 in a lot of ways. And, you know, it makes you want to work that much harder this winter. It makes you want to, you know, get in earlier. It makes you want to, you know, make that much better decisions because you just, you know, you want to keep experiencing that.
Here's a bit of advice for the Chicago Cubs and their ownership group and front office. How about saying, I'm moving at the direction of the Ricketts family, who have instructed me to leave no stone unturned to improve our roster. They want to win the World Series for our fabulous fan base. They have told me resources will not be a problem. Just build the best team that you can. Folks, perception becomes reality, and the perception is that the Chicago Cubs are not all in financially. That's just the perception. That's a fact. And that they act like the Cleveland Guardians, that's also a fact. You're better than that. With the money you bring in, you should be striving to put the best possible team, especially one that made it to the second round of the playoffs. Push your chips in from day one. Cubs had 6 players named as finalists for the Gold Glove Awards. Surprisingly, though, multi-time Gold Glove winner Dansby Swanson, not one of the 3 finalists at shortstop. The Cubs did have Nico Horner, Matt Shaw, Ian Happ, PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, Carson Kelly, and Matthew Boyd, all selected as finalists at their respective positions. Alex Bregman announced he is opting out of his deal with the Boston Red Sox, and he will hit the free agent market. Move is expected. Does not rule out the veteran third baseman returning to Boston, but for now, he'll be part of a free agent class for the second straight off season. And here's today's 4 seasons. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. Stat of the day for all the right reasons. 4 seasons. Dodgers starters over the last 30 games dating back to the regular season. 15-1 record. 1.49 ERA. A 144 opponent's batting average. A 0.81 walks and hits per innings pitched. That's insanely good. And 214 strikeouts. No wonder they're 2 up on the Brewers. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you greatly. Don't forget, every single weekday, lunch hour with my guy Guff and his bet of the day at 12:30 right here on the Recap Network. Take that.